Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Megan.
And I'm Sierra. For today's video, we thought it was about time that we did a good old-fashioned Q&A. I feel like it's been
I don't think we've done one in
while.
7 months. Like literally since we finished our summer clinical before we started our second year of PT school. So it has definitely been a while. You guys have questions, so we're going to answer them. So yeah, before we get started with the video, we wanted to thank Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. So if you've been watching us for a while, you're probably familiar with the fact that we've worked with Ana Luisa quite a few times. We are huge fans of their jewelry. It's pretty much the only jewelry that either of us ever wears, and so we're super excited to be working with them again. So the great thing about Ana Luisa is that they are a sustainable jewelry company, and one of the things they do to kind of achieve their sustainable mission is make their jewelry in smaller batches to create less waste. Right now, Ana Luisa is actually having their Mother's Day sale, and it goes on for a pretty long period of time, I think until mid-May. So the deal is buy one, get one 40% off, which means that you can go check out the site, find a piece of jewelry you like, and then also get a gift for your mother or any other important woman in your life. So Megan and I are going to be talking about the pieces that we are currently wearing. I think we're each wearing 2 necklaces from Ana Luisa right now. So the necklaces that I'm wearing, I have one that is a gold safety pin with a couple little jewels on them. I don't know what kind of jewels they use. The other one is a small little diamond that also has some little jewels on it. And then I'm wearing one that has the M letter on it for Megan, and then I also have one that has kind of like 2 things that are linked together, and one of them is a shinier gem of some sort. I'm not really good at jewelry
I will not identify what it is.
Very cute, and then they're just both gold, and so they match really nicely together. We've also gotten Ana Luisa jewelry for our mom in the past, and she loves it. She wears it pretty much every day.
Yeah, I think she's even gone on her own and like bought it herself, so she does like it a lot. So I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to jewelry, and that's why I love Ana Luisa's pieces, because they're so like simple and dainty, and they're just the perfect accessory to like add on to any single outfit. I literally will go days where I just like wear the same thing like for jewelry over and over because it goes with any outfit, and it spices every look up. If you guys are interested in checking out their Mother's Day sale, then go ahead and check out our link in the description, and you can do the buy one get one 40% off deal for Mother's Day. Thanks again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into some questions.
I tried doing my hair different today. You guys are gonna have to let me know how it looks. I definitely think I could do some improvement. I'm just like looking at myself in the viewfinder, like my hair is like overwhelming me. I tried using some hot rollers and I just don't know.
She's unsure how she feels.
So we're gonna work with it though. First question.
Okay, so I've gotten quite a few questions about like any dating updates or like anything like that, so I figured we could just address that off the bat. No updates.
Honestly, I'm still rolling like a free wave.
What does that even mean?
So this year I have not been on any dating apps or doing like literally anything to pursue dating, whereas like last year it was a New Year's resolution, so it was kind of always something that was like on the back of my mind if like I could be doing this to try and like fulfill that resolution. And this year, without having any sort of thing that I'm trying to like make myself do, I've just been like doing nothing, and it's been nice, and I haven't really been feeling like the need or like I'm missing out on anything. So it's been nice, especially knowing that we're going to be like moving and leaving Iowa City soon. That also helps. I feel like it is kind of pointless for me to do anything at this moment in time. So I've just been vibing with being single, as I always have been, but like without feeling like the pressure of like trying to look for someone right now. So it's been good.
I'm definitely kind of in the same mindset as Megan, where like at least for the next 2 months, like while I'm still in Iowa City, I just don't see the point of pursuing anything. And then like maybe when we get back to Des Moines, like start clinicals, since we see ourselves staying in the Des Moines area for the foreseeable future, then maybe I'll consider diving into things then. I don't know.
Okay, next question is biggest fear going into getting a job in the future. Which is a fun, interesting question. So we'll be looking for jobs most likely end of this year or beginning of next year because we graduate in December. And this seems like a ways away, but it's also like gonna come so fast because this whole second year of PT school has flown by so fast. We were just finishing our first year and I was like, we're halfway kind of.
No, I know.
And now it's like we're done with our curriculum in 2 months, and it's actually insane.
I was looking at my calendar, I was like, we only have like 6 weeks left, including finals, I think.
Yeah. So it's been like kind of a wake-up call. I do think something that's comforting, this is not exactly getting to like the job part yet, but like I can definitely tell I'm done with school. So I think that's good, and hopefully it's motivation enough for me to be like really dive into clinicals, be grateful that you're kind of on this like new experience of doing full-time stuff and gaining actual experience rather than being in school. Getting a job, I think it's just going to be, I really want to like find a place that I feel good working at, you know, and so just like figuring out organizations that I'm interested in, and if I can do that, then I feel like I could really find a good place and be comfortable and really like my job, it's just like, you gotta hope you find that. You know what I mean?
I think my biggest fear is probably going to be like imposter syndrome, or just like getting my own official caseload and like having patients that are like actually like legitimately just mine, and feeling like I'm doing everything that I can for them. I think I'm gonna be like in my head of like, what if I'm not doing like the best that I can do? Which I suppose is a good fear, because it, you know, ensures that you're trying your best, but it is probably something that I'm worried about. Okay, this is kind of an interesting study related question. Someone said, how do you study with Quizlet and remember the material and not just trying to memorize the answer? So
interesting question.
I do know what you're saying, because you want to obviously like retain the information you're learning to like actually be able to apply in the future, not just regurgitate answers for a test. In some ways, I feel like it's kind of hard to avoid. Like sometimes there's just numbers or something you have to memorize. I think something that helps me is like, while I use Quizlet to like try and get like the most efficient like use of studying, where it's like I can just like knock it out by like looking through things, and like how Meg and I put things into Quizlets, it's pretty much like the entire handout that we get is placed on a Quizlet.
That's because one of our professors like will include a lot of specific details that you're probably only gonna remember if you know a lot of the handout. But I feel like in class is when we do a lot of like the actual discussion and talking through how you treat cases. So in that sense, that's where I feel like we're learning the application part of what we're being taught, and it's not so much like I'm not learning that from my Quizlet. I'm learning my Quizlet so I can know like the little details for the exam, and then I will still know how to apply things that aren't on Quizlet.
Yeah, I think that it's just about not exclusively using Quizlet to study, but like using Quizlet as an adjunct to the other things you're doing. So some other ways, if I want to like actually feel like I am kind of breaking things down, sometimes I'll try and like go through, and if it's like, if there is no handout, I'll try and like kind of make a handout, and like, or like I'll do like branching to see like, of this section, here's these things within the section. And I feel like visually that helps me kind of compartmentalize things to make sense of them, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would say Quizlet, you do kind of get in that rut of memorization, so not exclusively relying on Quizlet is my best answer for you.
Okay, next question. What's something you've gotten better at through the years when it comes to studying for exams? I kind of thought this was a fun question, considering Sierra just went back and was watching a vlog that we did in undergrad, and she texted me saying that I had said that I was in the library for 7 hours, and I was like, did we at least have like a big test coming up?
And I was like, no. I think there was one like the next week.
And so I was just like, I can't even imagine having 7 hours of my day to dedicate to studying. So I feel like you just get better at being more efficient and knowing that you only have so much time in a day to do things, so all you can do is like your best and then keep doing that every single day. But I'm certainly never studying for 7 hours. Even if I have like finals during the weekend, I might spend like 6 hours each day studying. 7 hours during undergrad, I'm just like, what am I doing?
No.
What was I doing?
I look back to some of our undergrad vlogs, and considering that we were only taking like 4 classes at a time, they were never like, I mean, they were hard, but like the exams were probably like more spaced out than they are in grad school. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, I feel like we would just like, we didn't know what to do.
If I went to undergrad, I would expect to have like so much free time.
I know. Like, I feel like we just didn't know what to do, and so we'd be like, oh, like, I'll just go to the library until like this amount of time. When in reality, it probably could have been like, okay, I'm just gonna go be done for the day.
And also, like, looking back, I feel like in theory, you're also just like super stressed in undergrad because you're trying to do your best. So I understand that that's like different now, where we're not trying to get into grad school anymore. But I still do like well in my classes for the most part without putting that much time in. So,
well, we do put time in, but
yes,
not as much as undergrad.
Not that much.
So someone asked, would you ever release videos of the podcast? That is actually something that Megan and I are trying to kind of prepare for potentially within the next few months. Probably when we get back to Des Moines and like end up moving and stuff, we kind of want to see if we can designate a space for filming the podcast. So that is something that we are thinking of.
It just requires a little bit more like technological stuff. So our cameras that we have all only record for 30 minutes max. It's just like something that they do. So we'd need to get a specific camera that would record for longer, and that's an investment in itself, and like we'd want to know like a good one to get.
Yeah.
So it would just require a little bit more planning, and obviously
we'd have to
time
do
to get
practice
space.
runs, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we are potentially thinking about doing that.
Next question is, how's the apartment search going? Which I'm guessing you guys, since if you have been watching our channel, you know we posted a video in December when we were searching over break, and maybe you're like, aren't we getting more videos for apartment searching? I will say we did find a place to live when we're moving back to Des Moines, but we aren't going to be moving until early June. But we did find a place to stay, and you guys will obviously find out.
Yeah, we'll have like a whole little moving series. It'll be fun.
Okay, what are the best books we've read of all time?
Ooh,
this is a good time to pull up my Goodreads. The all-time part makes it a little like, I don't know, but because I only got my Goodreads like the end of last year. But I will tell you guys the books that I have listed as 5 stars, and that's the best I can do.
Yeah. So I know for my 5 stars, I've read The Silent Patient, And Then There Were None, November 9th,
Ugly
Love, Reminders of Him, All Roads Lead Here. I just read that one.
As Good as Dead, but that's the third in a series.
Ooh, Beach Read. I love Beach Read.
Yeah.
And I technically gave The Hating Game 5 stars. I don't know how that holds up, but I gave it 5 stars.
I think you pretty much... Verity, I also rated
You
5 stars.
5 stars.
I don't think I actually did. I think I gave it 4 when I looked back. November 9th, you maybe already said that.
Yeah.
I did give Confess 5 stars. Yeah, on my Goodreads, that's it.
Or Goodreads if you
Lots of good 4 stars too, though, that I would highly recommend. Go follow us on Goodreads.
Yeah, like honestly, if I gave a book 4 stars, I still loved it. Like 5 stars is just like
5 stars is a feeling, so like if I don't get a feeling, then I like tell myself I can't rate a book 5 stars, but I could like absolutely love a 4-star book, and it's great.
So someone asked, what does your fitness schedule look like, and what are your main goals? And do you do stuff like progressive overload and that kind of stuff? So, for my workout schedule, I try and do every other day. Am I always 100% with that? No. But that's usually my goal. So like 3 or 4 times a week, I guess. Sometimes it's twice, sometimes it's once, sometimes it's not at all.
I also try to do every other day just because that's what works okay with my schedule, but there are some days where things get busy. I have to study a little bit more, and so things get tweaked around a little bit, but I try to stick with that. Also, if we like go home for a weekend, then I usually like don't work out, and I try to do that when I'm here. So like, if things like that happen, then like whatever. I usually split between upper body days and lower body days. It just works best for me, and I come up with stuff when I'm there. I don't always have like amazing workouts, but some days are better than others. But I kind of think as long as you're going to the gym, like that's a win in and of itself. So doing anything is better than nothing. I've been trying to get better at progressive overload. What's difficult is being at like a university gym. I feel like depending on when you go, things can get like really busy, and so you're not necessarily doing and working on the same exercises all the time. So then it's kind of hard to progressively overload. So
I agree with that.
Like today, I squatted for like the probably second time this whole year.
It's literally so impossible to find a squat rack when you go to the university gym.
What I've been doing in that sense to try and like, I've been trying to up my weight. So instead of focusing on reps, like doing 3 sets of 10, which is like what I had been doing previously, and then I like wouldn't be upping my weight, I've decided to like try and stick with the weight that I had last time, even though it's been a while. And if I can't do as many reps, then that's been okay.
You're doing strength training.
So that's kind of a way that I've been doing that when I can't really like progressively overload as much as I would like, but it's what I can do.
Okay, so this is a good question. I think I also got a couple like this, but it was essentially talking about TC2, like why did we stop and that kind of stuff. We actually have a whole podcast episode that we just released a couple weeks ago that you guys can check out if you want more of an in-depth
walkthrough. We talked all about it.
Yeah, we talked about it for like an hour. So TC2 is not technically like done or over. We don't really have any idea what we're doing with it right now. So I don't know. You can like listen to the whole podcast episode. It's basically just like our like hearts weren't in it as much at the time, and the return on investment wasn't coming back, whether that was like financially, time-wise, like happiness. I don't know. It just like wasn't coming back for us. And then also I do want to like recognize, someone did point out like what they thought was a good idea for TC2 about saying we should like hold auditions for some younger gymnasts and like kind of host a channel. And the reason I don't like that idea is because we had been like younger when we started the channel. Like there's just a lot of weird people on the internet these days, and I don't want to put like any underage young ladies in that position to attract that kind of audience.
Okay, this is a fun question. Someone said, I love the name According to Graphics. How do you come up with the style and overall vibe? First of all, thank you so much. If you guys are not an According to listener, we just did a rebrand, and so here's the new cover. It's pretty cute. We like it. We did a whole photo shoot for it, and we've got a bunch of other pictures that we'll continue to post for the purpose of that Instagram and whatnot. But I feel like we had known for a while that we wanted to do a rebrand at like kind of the start of this year, I would say. And we were just like, we just need to figure out the vibe. And I don't know exactly when or what it was that did it, but like I feel like we both just all of a sudden like knew what we wanted to have happen. And it was just like going to be this like retro-ish. The Coke had to stay. The Coke was in the original cover.
And we like the glass bottle.
A part of our personalities. And so I felt like that route was just kind of like an easy-ish thing to go down. And you can also just do like a lot with like that. I feel like you can do like movie theater type vibes. You can do, it's just like a lifestyle thing almost, but it's just like make it a little more retro, older, vintage, stuff like that. So that was our goal. We wanted it to be fun and colorful.
We have like the diner vibes, and then Megan's working through some potential color palettes. We wanted to like kind of try a different color palette out because we feel like the blue, we only have like one singular blue, and I feel like
we didn't like, there was no thought behind that.
Yeah, it was just like we had the picture and we just needed background color. And so this time around we wanted multiple colors so we could have a color palette to choose from, and the Instagram could look cohesive but also not just like the same color being repeated over and over. So Megan found one that we liked, and yeah,
we're rolling with it.
We have a lot of good plans for that Instagram and just like the podcast as a whole.
And hopefully maybe merch in the future.
This is another studying question. Someone said, when you study, how do you stick to only taking a 5-minute break? And so this is referencing us using the Pomodoro method, where you do 25 minutes of studying, no distractions, and then you can get a 5-minute break. Obviously, like, I don't stick to it 100% of the time. Like, sometimes I'm like just still on my phone, but for the majority of the time, I do stick to the 5 minutes.
I feel like usually what happens, unless there's like something I was like planning on doing, or like a piece of content that I know is out that like I'm not watching, I'm kind of like, nothing new is really going on. And so then I'm like, literally before my 5 minutes is even up, sometimes I'm like,
time to get back to it. No, I feel like I usually do like a quick rush of like social media, and that usually takes me like 2 minutes
TikTok
max
during your 5-minute break.
Don't go on TikTok during your 5-minute break. That will suck you in. Sometimes what I do is if I have a YouTube video that I want to watch, I will, one, put it on double speed because I do that for all my videos. But then like I'll kind of like let that be like my 5-minute break, and I'll pause it and I'll like make me excited for my next 5-minute break. So I gotta keep watching the video. But yeah, I think that just maybe like getting up and like walking around quick, but like don't like leave to go do something that's gonna take a long time. Obviously like stand up, like move around a little bit if you need to, but I would avoid like long form content distractions, unless it's like the YouTube or Netflix thing like that I suggested, but you have to have the willpower to be able to pause it, even if it's getting good. So yeah.
Okay, next question, where do we want to travel to next? I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that we have a couple week-long breaks in between our clinicals, so just for fun, Sierra and I have been looking at possible places we want to go. Our first break between like finishing classes and our first clinical, we're just gonna not do anything.
We might go to the lake house.
Yeah, we might do that. Would be fun to do that. Then we have a break towards the end of July or early August, and I think that it'd be fun. We kind of like asked Maggie, and I don't know her schedule to plan, and she doesn't really either because she's also going through her own little like job search right now. But we've always talked about going to Moab together. It's in Utah. We're not big hikers, but we could do like some of the hikes, and I've just always thought it'd be really cool to go there.
We also talked about
Alaska.
I think Alaska would be so pretty,
especially in the summer. So that was one that she was interested in, either of those, but obviously she was like, doesn't know her schedule. So, and then other than that, I'm thinking our other break we have is October between our second and third ones. And we've talked about maybe going somewhere with our mom. I'd love to go somewhere warm, so that's kind of what we've been thinking. Okay, this question is, why do you never mention friends or have them in vlogs? I feel like we do mention our friends in the vlogs, at least now. It used to be that we did not have friends, so that was the simple answer. I also feel like the little bit that we have like dabbled in including our friends in the vlogs, none of them like object to being in the vlogs, but I just am like, I myself don't know if I like love it, or I just prefer like being in the moment when we're with our friends.
Like our friends, to my knowledge at least, like they have not objected to being in the vlogs. Like a lot of them are like, yeah, sure, like go for it. But I just feel weird being like, hey guys, like, so we're here with my friends.
Like some vloggers are really, especially this is people who vlog and like their friends are all vloggers too. They can pull out a camera and like literally be like, not just saying what they're doing, they'll be like doing what they're doing and still hanging out with their friends.
If that makes sense.
But like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna like force my friends to like do that.
Like, I feel like it'd be weird, like you were saying, sometimes like when you're a vlogger and you're friends with vloggers, when like recording those like random moments is fine to everyone, but like I feel like to someone else who's like not used to that, they'd be like, why are you recording like us just talking right now? And I just feel weird about like recording random things sometimes, so I'm fine with getting like the, hey, here's like our friend, and like introducing them, but I'm not like expecting like them to be like, I'm not gonna hold the camera up and be like, what do you think of like what's going on? Like, I don't know. I personally just think it's weird. So I saw one question at least about talking about any potential future pets or anything, and I really want to get a dog so badly. I would potentially even consider getting one like maybe during clinicals, but I for sure know I'm not going to, because my last clinical I will be back in Cedar Rapids and like living I don't even know where, so I'm not going to like get a dog and then like move it to Cedar Rapids. That would just be chaotic, but I do want to get a dog. Hopefully sometime after I graduate. I'll figure out a schedule where I can get one. Someone said, how do you guys split up your expenses? So Megan and I don't have like this like hard and fast rule of like counting everything by the dollar and like splitting it up or anything. But obviously like we split our rent for groceries. We both share groceries, and so we just alternate who pays, and hopefully like it evens out over time. We try and alternate gas because we drive the same car right now.
I feel like it's just whoever's driving and the gas is low, you're the one paying for gas.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I feel like I've been paying for gas for a while and I'm still driving, I'll be like, can you pay for gas? Like, I don't know. It's just,
we go based off of vibes. And I think it probably all shakes out roughly evenly. And we'll end the Q&A with a question from our older sister, Haley. She said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to be living in the same general area as me again? So Haley and Ashton, her fiance, are actually moving back to the Des Moines area around the same time that we are. So
it's a very exciting time. Our whole family's going to be back together.
I mean, not that we don't, like, we live close now, kind of.
Well, it's a 45-minute drive to Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, but you just saw her yesterday.
Yeah, true. And that was just, like, kind of a fluke because she works at the hospital here, and I was at a cafe, and she also ended up coming. So ran into her over lunch yesterday.
Yeah. Very excited. I'd say 10 out of 10.
I would say 10 out of 10. I'm very much, like, looking forward to this new chapter of life. So it should be fun.
Hope you guys enjoyed our answers to these questions. I feel like you guys asked some fun ones, so hopefully you feel enlightened.
Again, don't forget to check out the link in our description and check out the Mother's Day sale that Annalisa is having. You can do buy one, get one 40% off, so you can get something for yourself and then something for a loved one.
Our podcast is also linked down below if you want to check that out, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!